Hey everyone, today I am sharing with you an interview I did in July 2018 last summer with my dear friend Ronnie Davis. Ronnie is coming out with a book, When the Stars Lead to You, from Little Brown this November. I am so excited to share this interview with you all. Ronnie is a dear, sweet person, and her book is amazing. I would like to say though, because we were at a writing retreat, there are some background noises. You may hear other people we were staying with in the background. I think there's a small cameo by Ronnie's son, and you will hear the slight noises of an amusement park down the mountain. Also, there was like a brief part near the end where for some reason the screen blacks out. But beyond that, it's a great interview and I hope you all enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, please remember to like this video and also give me a subscribe. I will try to do more interviews with authors and other people in the industry when I get the chance. Alright, enjoy! Hi guys, it's Tracy and I am here to introduce my friend, the author Ronnie Davis.
Hi, it's me. Am I looking at the right place? Where am I supposed to look? Oh yeah, and the lens.
Look ahead. So I am filming this during our writing retreat back in July. By the time I release this, Ronnie will have her first book announced.
Yay!
So, Ronnie.
Yes.
I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ronnie. I live in Chicago. By day, I'm a copy editor. By night, I play The Sims, I write books, and I am a mama to a naughty kitten and an old man cat and a son, Aiden. I'm married. And yeah, I've been writing for a long time.
Okay. So that actually leads right into my next question.
Sweet.
What kind of books do you write?
I write love stories about mostly biracial girls.
And y'all know I love love stories.
Heck yeah. I mean, where's the kissing? I mean, okay.
If there's no kissing, what's the point?
Right, I know. It's like, why do books even have to have a plot though? Like, seriously, like, why can't they just like stand there and kiss?
I'm down with it.
I'm down with
I would
that,
be
too.
happy with books with just kissing.
Just all different kinds. But seriously, I write love stories. I like to deal with just like touch on issues of contemporary stories where people are kind of going through their everyday and just trying to figure out how they exist in this world, and if they so happen to fall in love along the way, all the better.
What are some of your favorite tropes?
One of my favorite tropes, and this is kind of probably gross, but I love to read books where like teenagers are like locked up in an institution against their will.
Wow.
So on like April Henry, like her book Shock Point, that's like my main example of this, is where like the girl's stepfather like sends her away and they have to figure out how to get out of this horrible situation. Like the Suzanne Young books too, like The Program and all those books. Like I can't remember the main one, but like it's the same thing where it's like a bunch of teens that they just kind of get locked up and then they're like, what the As far as love story tropes, I like pretending and then they fall in love. I like friends
fake
to
romances.
love. Yeah, I like fake romances.
That's one of my favorites too.
I like The Boy, Surfaces from the Past. Yeah, I really kind of like that.
Chances.
Yeah, Second Chances.
Those are like all my jams.
I like poor girl, rich boy romances, and I know that's like, I don't know. I just really do like that. I mean, maybe because I grew up not in a good social economic situation, so, and I always dreamed like a rich boy would come and sweep me away and kind of save me, so I write those stories. I mean, I know it's like probably old-fashioned and problematic or whatever, but I don't know, I just really like those.
You guys haven't gotten to read her stuff yet, but like her stuff is seriously my catnip. I love her writing. I can't wait for you guys to be able to read her book. Like, so good.
Oh my god.
And her prose is so beautiful.
Oh my god. Keep going, but no. I mean, stop, but keep going.
You
Like,
know
stop,
you're
but
one of
keep
my
going.
favorite writers.
Well, see, this is good because I met Tracy at a writing retreat
Last
year. Yeah, it
March
seems like a lot longer than that.
2017. I know, it feels like forever.
Yeah, but it's just when you have to have people around you who can give you that, like who can, like, because writing is hard, but it's like it's hard. And a lot of people think it's like you have to do it alone, but you really need to have people. You need to have your people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to have your people who you can vent to. You have to have your people you can trust with your words and your work. You have to have people who will like talk you off ledges, because I know for me, publishing has too many ledges.
See, I keep telling y'all, I keep preaching, community is one of the most important parts of being a writer. Like, I don't know where I would be without community.
Yeah, I would be probably working a really miserable job, or, you know, just trying to squash writing if I didn't have people who continuously will say, okay, yeah, you say you're going to quit today, but tomorrow we're going to talk. You can quit today, but tomorrow's a different story.
All right, so back to tropes.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of your least favorite tropes?
Road trips. I am so tired of road trip books. I can't relate to that, because when I was 16, like, the idea of even getting my license, because my mom was kind of protective of me, so getting my license was just never even a thing, and let alone having my own car. So, like, to see these kids that they're just like, oh, we're gonna go, like, I don't know, chase down my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend's dog, and they just hop in a car and just drive across the country, and I'm just like,
all right, so do you have any specific writing practices or must-haves when you're writing?
tea. I like to have tea. I gotta have a playlist. I like to know the names of my main characters, because it's really hard for me to change the names. So, like, names, they mean a lot, so they all have, like, special meanings, and I want that the characters, like, personality and their growth in the story to, like, I want that reflected in their name. So it takes me and then also, like, the way they look and just everything, even the way they move through the world, like, their name has to reflect all of that. So it takes me a long time to pick my main character's real name.
You go way deeper than I do. I'm just like, I like this name. It's pretty.
I have lists and lists of names and apps in my phone and baby name books and websites saved of names. So
I should probably do that more, and instead of just being like, your name's pretty, that's your name now.
No, I think that's okay too. I mean, I wish I could do that, and then I think I could write a lot more stuff, because I really do get hung up on names sometimes.
You are currently with the wonderful, the darling Katie Flume.
Oh, Katie.
Like,
Katie.
you guys, if you're on Twitter, you should follow Katie. Katie is the coolest.
She's awesome.
She's the sweetest.
Mm-hmm. She's smart, and she's real. Like, what you see is what you get.
So you want to tell us how you landed Katie?
Yeah, that was a fun story. So years ago, Maggie Stevewater posted this, like, critique partner matchup thing, and you just, like, post your, like, a sample of your manuscript, or like not even a sample, but like your pitch or your query, and then people would, like, email you, say, hey, I'm into reading this, let's change a few pages to see if we gel, let's see if our work gels. And a person responded named Rachel, and I was like, oh yeah, we really do gel, because our books were kind of like that contemporary, just a girl trying to figure out what the fuck, basically. Yeah. So she and I just started exchanging pages. She said Katie was her agent, and I mean, and I was kind of like sort of querying, but not really. I knew I still had a lot of work to do on my book. But almost a year later, Katie posted a manuscript wish list, and I don't remember, I have the tweet saved in my computer, but I don't know it off the top of my head, but it was, like, exactly my manuscript. And I said, Rachel,
it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And I said, Rachel, what do you think of me querying Katie? And she just wrote me this long email gushing about how awesome Katie is. And I was like, okay. And so Rachel and I kind of coordinated it where she said, okay, I'm going out to dinner to Katie on this day. Why don't you send it like that morning, and then I'll mention you at dinner, so it'll be kind of like fresh in her mind. Or it was like something like that. We coordinated it, and Katie like responded back it didn't take long for her to respond back, where she asked for the first 50 pages. And so I sent them to her. And then in the meantime, I sent my whole book to another critique partner of mine named Reagan, who her book Black Chuck is available now. Reagan was the critique partner that was the most scary, because she loves your book fiercely, but she also like fiercely will tell you, look, this isn't working, you need to fix this and that. And it was finally to a point where I was ready for that feedback, so I said, give me what you got, but also be nice. Also remember
sandwich method.
Yeah, the sandwich method, really. And so she really did that, and she really helped me get it in shape. So it was off to Reagan, because I was, Rachel said Katie takes her time. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I have time to get the rest of this book in shape. I knew my first 50 pages were pretty good, because I had been getting full requests off of those 50 pages for a while. So I was like, oh, I have like at least 2 months.
Of course, this would be the one time.
Of course, this was the time. Katie was like, I want the rest. About a month later, Katie... she said that she loved the pages, and also Katie got a Hamilton reference that I snuck in that no one else caught.
Any agent that can get a Hamilton reference is a plus in my mind.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I think she's going to be the one. But she had surgery, so she was out for a while, and in the meantime I was just kind of doing my thing. I got my edits back from Reagan in time to get to Katie, and I sent it off to Katie, but in the meantime I was just kind of working a lot, and just the holidays were coming up, so that was like busy. Yeah. And then I was preparing for a major surgery. So I was like, okay, it'll happen when it happens. I'm still recovering now, so this is good. The holidays went by, I had my surgery, and then February came, and Katie emailed me and said, I just finished, I'm not ready to offer, but let's get on the phone. So she called me the next morning, and Adam and I, my husband Adam, and we were just strategizing like, okay, she's not ready to offer, but it's our job to make her ready to offer. And we just kind of talked through the manuscript. She told me everything she loved, and then she said, okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm not ready if I love it so much. And so she just brought out one certain plot point that really, that she really did not like. It was a plot point that I was not married to. And I think
gone.
I was like, bye. And so I revised it. And once I told her, she said, "Are you willing to revise and take that plot point out?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, then I'd be happy to represent this book." And I was like, "What?" So I had it out with some other agents for like 2 weeks, and I said, let's do 2 weeks here from everyone else. But like in the back of my mind, I was already like, yeah, Katie's gonna be my agent, because she got the Hamilton reference.
Sometimes you just get that feel.
And she got my character. She got what I wanted to do, and then she got she said she dreamed about my characters, and I was like, okay, like if someone's gonna be that vested, like that's someone I want on my team. And also, even like beyond that, just Katie's like social media presence and just talking to her and just, again, like she's so smart and she is so like she hustles and like she takes on stuff she loves deeply, and you can see it in the way she talks about us, which
that's what you want out of an agent.
Yeah.
Now we know how you got your agent, but what was your journey to your book deal?
Oh, geez, with this book or everything? Like my whole writing journey from.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was asking specifically, I guess, about this book deal. But if you want to go more in depth,
I can go way back, way back. So I started pursuing publication seriously in 2005. I was critique partners with the agent. She's now an agent, but Mandy Hubbard. She was a writer back then. We were like really close. Like Mandy was the type who could say like right out. Like she knew. She had really good instincts. So that's why I'm not surprised she became an agent, because her instincts were good. But we would exchange pages like every day, basically, and we would be on IM every day and exchanging pages.
That's the kind of CP I want.
And what happened was that, so we all probably started querying about the same time, and I queried an agent back then, and like right before, oh God, I think it was like the beginning of November or something. No, it was somewhere around like Thanksgiving. I feel like things started to happen. But the funny thing is that he kind of, like, it was so different back then. It was so different back then. Nothing like it is now. It is, but it wasn't. So I remember he was like one of the only agents who did e-queries. But back then, most of the time, you still had to write letters. Like, you had to send letters in the mail. And you got rejections in the mail.
Oh, that must have taken forever.
It was so strange. But but he was, he was one of the only ones who did. And email, and I remember I had gone on a querying batch that night, and I put, and he said, paste the first like 30 pages into the body of email, and I was like, this looks like a hot mess, there's no way. And like a couple weeks later, he's like, I'll consider the whole thing, please send it on. And then he read it, and I can't remember if I did it electronically or paper that way. I know I sent a couple things to him paper and some things electronically to him. And I remember thinking, whoa, that was the farthest I had ever gotten, really. And and this is how I knew that Mandy had good instincts, is because he said he read the whole thing. He emailed me on a Sunday night, and I was chatting with Mandy, and I was looking over some feedback that she had given me, and I was actually working on when he said his revision was, he's like, I really like it, your book is well done, but this part, let's work on this part. And it was the exact same part that I was already working on at the time. And so I did that, mailed it, and I remember I mailed that to him because it was a bright Mickey Mouse envelope. That was the only envelope the post office had that would fit my manuscript.
But Mickey Mouse totally fits you anyway. That just showed your personality with the manuscript.
Yeah.
Here, enjoy this Mickey.
Mm-hmm. And then he had to tell me like 4 times that he wanted to represent me before I believed it. But that manuscript didn't sell. We ended up parting ways, and then I just decided, like, my life kind of blew up then. Like, so I decided, what, I need to take a break from writing. I have a small kid at home. I need to get my shit together. So I kind of took a break. I kept writing writing crap whenever I felt like writing. But I just spent the time just getting my life together. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't write, because I am going to be a yoga teacher. Or I'm going to be an actress. Or I'm going to work in advertising. And none of them really panned out, obviously. I decided I didn't like teaching. And I decided that acting was too competitive. But acting is...
acting's just as bad as writing, almost.
But it's even more, because they look at you, and it's like, no. Like, you have to put yourself out there in a way that you can't as a yeah. You're there, you at least with writing you can send off your manuscript and go. Acting, you're like, oh, okay, you don't want me here.
You actually want to look at me and stuff.
It's fine. So, but acting is actually what got me back into my writing, because I realized whenever I was on set, I was like, I'm inside a story, and I was just looking at the details the set director, the set designers put into the scenery, and being a background extra, which was not it's not glamorous, but it was amazing. But being able to play with the props, and kind of and we would make up our own little scenarios with these props that we had. Even though we were just in the background, a bunch of us would just kind of make up our own little situations so that it looked real. And that really got me going.
Were you one of the people that go carrots and peas, carrots and peas, carrots and peas?
I never said that, but I was an extra in Divergent, and I was in a choosing ceremony, so I can say I was in a movie with Theo James.
Your love.
Technically, my love. But we said, whatever that group thing was they all said about, like, faction before blood or something like that. That's like, we all had to say that. So I had a line once in a major film with 600 other people.
I'm interviewing famous movie stars, guys. See the things I do for you?
Not really. Not really. So, so that's what got me writing it. But even still, it didn't occur to me to do it for publication until I started realizing, wait a minute, they're asking for diversity in books. And that's what I'm writing right now. And what got me going was my manuscript was nowhere near ready, and Mandy Hubbard tweeting, "I'm open for queries." And I said, "Oh, I wish my book was ready because I'd query you." And she said, "You know you don't have to query me, right?" And I was like, "Oh,
like, I already know you're writing."
Exactly. And so I was like, maybe I can try this again. And so I just started working really hard on this book. And that's when I started getting more critique partners. And that's when I joined the Maggie CP matchup thing and really started revising and revising and revising and revising. I got Katie. And then I started like attending more retreats, networking again more. I used to network way back in the day. And I kind of took a step back, and then I started like coming back into the fold, and a lot of people were like, "Ronnie, you're back! Wow, it's good to see you. Are you writing again?" "Yeah, I guess I am." And then I don't know. For me though, it was like really a choice to really keep going every day, because it gets discouraging, and I feel like my journey was like it still sucked, but I feel like mine was easier than some people's. I won't say it sucked. It was hard. I think that's a better way to say it. It was hard. But I just feel like something kept making me show up. So I'm like, if something keeps making me show up, then maybe I need to really see if I can go the distance with it.
So now what publisher are you with?
Little Brown.
Ooh, I just love hearing you say that.
Yeah, so that was the one publisher that I kind of muttered it back in 2006. I was just like, wow, maybe it was 2005. I was like, I would love to be published by Little Brown. And then the universe heard it, I guess, and like 13 years later, it was like, okay, here you go.
Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on this ARC, even though I've already read the book. I want the ARC, and I want the signed copy. I want the hardback. I want the paperback. I want the audiobook.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, buy all that.
I want to see the movie. I want to see the spin-off TV show.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I am ready for it all, girl. All right, so what are some of the hardest obstacles you've come across in publishing?
I think, honestly, I know that there are obstacles that everyone knows about, like publishing in general seems to be kind of resistant to letting Black women tell their own stories.
Yeah.
So, like institutional obstacles, so things like that. Whereas when I first was signed with an agent way back in the day, like my book was about a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. I only queried for like 6 months before I got an agent, like a big agent, and then the book didn't sell, but still, right? But so I'm like, now I'm writing about a different type of person that I didn't write about. I'm actually putting in issues about racism. Like, they're not the forefront of the book, but she still moves through the world. She doesn't move the world in a vacuum, so things still happen, and she reacts to them accordingly, and she also moves through the world because of these experiences that have happened to her and that have been shaping her whole life. So having that putting that kind of stuff in, and then seeing like the We Need Diverse Books movement, and seeing all this stuff, and then seeing like the statistics and the things like that.
The statistics are so disheartening sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, my goodness.
Yeah, they really are. So I feel like there was a lot of institutional roadblocks, but I feel like the main roadblocks were just on my level, where I'm like, do I even bother to keep going? Like, will they listen to my story? Do they even care? Like, because it just seemed like they're so resistant to it. Yeah, so I think a lot of mental roadblocks where you think well, they don't want me, why bother? And then, am I even good enough? Like, we're doing all this, like, fighting for, like, our place at the table and stuff. And then you start to think, what if I really do suck? What if I'm just not good? What if it's not biased? What if it's not institutional? What if I just suck? And so, like, that, like, trying to fight through that mindset, and it's not something you can do alone. Like, you have to have people who are familiar with you and your work.
And by the way, her writing doesn't suck, just so y'all know. It really doesn't.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, like, again, like, having people like Tracy, who, like, she's read my work, people who read your book, and who can say, look, you have something special here, please keep going, and that, and you know they're real, they're not bullshitting you. Like, you have to have people who are real with you too. And so having that, like, helps. Also, yeah, self-care gets you past those blocks, because you have to, sometimes you have to take a break from social media. You have to take a break from maybe writing, from publishing, just to get back to yourself and get back to writing.
Yeah, so that was actually, like, my next question. What are some of your self-care?
The Sims 4. She already know. You already know.
Well, they don't know.
They don't know. Yes, The Sims 4 is my ultimate self-care, because I can still create and I can still, like, play out stories, but there's no pressure to get it right, because The Sims is so, like, quirky that it kind of, you can plan everything right, and then, like, your main character can die from laughter, like. So yeah, I like to build. I mean, I like to build. It's relaxing. I can create, but I'm not doing it for anyone but me, or, like, people. When I upload it to the gallery, if people want it there, because I don't know. So I think it helps, like, unlock a lot of stuff. Also, as an escape. I mean, like, you can get sucked. Like, if you play, you know, you can get sucked into The Sims for, like, 12 hours. Or maybe that's just me. Did I just admit something?
It's not just you. I have played way more hours than I would like to admit on camera, where there's a record.
And I sat up there and admitted it. So it's a great way to just block yourself from all that crap. And then when you get back, you just kind of sleep off your Sim hangover. And then I usually wake up, like, ready. Like, it took me a few weeks this year to kind of, you know, I used to get my head right about publishing and the business of it, and just the subjectivity of it, and just everything that goes with publishing. And it was a great break. I came out, like, ready to, like, write again, and it was awesome. I was like, wow, I missed this. This is fun. Like, I was back to, like, I can't wait to get back to my computer so I can work on this. So that's my self-care. Also, massages, naps, manicures and pedicures, spa days in general.
What are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading a few different things. I'm reading a book by the Gone Girl author, Gillian Flynn. Dark Things, I think it's called.
I've heard about that one.
So I have that one. Then I'm trying to get through, like, all the Vampire Academy novels before they get sent back to the library. And I am reading a book called, like, The Wrong Kind of Right by Tiffany Brownlee. I think that's the name.
Yeah, I think I remember. Look, it's a really pretty
Brownlee.
cover.
Yeah, the cover is stunning,
gorgeous.
And then I'm also reading Not the Girls You're Looking For by Amina May.
Okay.
So yeah,
so many books to keep in your head at once, including your own,
including my own. Yeah, yeah. I start edit some, so I'm trying to, like, fill up the wells, because I know I won't have time to do anything.
Filling up the wells is
2 months.
important.
Once they get here, I'm done for 2 months.
All right. So, any advice you would like to give aspiring writers?
Keep going. Keep going. You can quit, but don't let it be permanent. I have quit so many times. I can't tell you how many times I've quit.
Like this, she's actually one of the reasons I'm still writing, to be honest, because I have quit before. Like, why am I still writing?
Yeah. Keep going. unless it's really making you unhappy. Like if it's making you like really unhappy and it's harming you and it's making you unhealthy, then by all means walk away. But if you're just, if it's just a hard day, or you got like a rejection from who you thought was your dream agent or whatever, it's okay to take a break, but come back, because there are so many different people and so many different people that your book could connect to, so, or who could connect to your book. So yeah, I think just keep going and just keep putting yourself out there. Take feedback into account if you jive with it. If it's a bunch of the same, if it's consistent feedback, like maybe take a look at it and like, yeah, and kind of take that into account. Also take into account the subjectivity. So I mean, it's a lot, but but the main thing I think is my community. Is just having my people saying, hey, I know that you're having a hard time, you can step away, but you need to come back. Or just to say, I read your writing and you don't suck, like what Tracy does. What other advice do I have? Just kind of don't lose your joy of it. Like, I think that's the main thing, is that if you start to feel like you're losing your joy, even when it's hard, like there's still something in you that makes you want to keep going. If that dies out, like just kind of step back and reevaluate. So make sure you don't lose the joy. And I think it's easy to get caught up in all the all the social media hoopla and who knows who and who gets to sit here, who's on the list this week and who has a deal that week, and just like really like pull away from that and just kind of go back inside and think, why am I doing this? And if it's because I cannot, then don't stop. I think that's my advice. I kind of went all like, I just kind of went oh yeah, back to my original point. Yay.
But it was all good advice. So anything else you would like us all to know?
I don't know. Like, you can find me on all kinds of social media. I've had the same social media handle since 1997. Fun fact. Another fun fact, I still sleep with my teddy bear. What's another weird fact? Every major city I've lived near began with a C.
Oh.
Yeah. Cleveland, Chicago, and Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Disney World, I love it. I love it.
She's a Disney freak.
I am. If you follow me on Twitter, you already know. I guess, I don't know, usually I can just run my mouth about me forever.
Well, I'm going to put her Goodreads and her social media all down there so you guys can like her book, so you can know when it comes out, pre-order it.
Yes, pre-order it. Chicago's expensive. And I like massages and spa days. Wait, what?
I'll put her social media down there so you can follow her and have this bright ray of sunshine in your life.
Stop. But keep going, but stop.
Ronnie, you know I love you, so thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Like, I love this girl. I want you all to love her too.
Please love me.
If you have any other questions for her, feel free to post them in the comments below. I will forward any questions to her.
And maybe I get to do another video.
Yes.
Or something.
Thank you so much for doing this interview. It's been great.
Yes.